Hi, everyone. Thank you very much for joining our first partner quarterly update. For those of you I've not met before, I'm Prasitha and I head up the partnership team. And I've been with Contentstack since December last year and have been working closely with the team to reset our partner program and help us with the next stage of growth at Contentstack. Today, for our quarterly webinar, I am joined by two fantastic guest speakers. Firstly, we have Jeff Baer, who's our head of product marketing, and we also have Connor Egan, who's our VP of product. On today's agenda, we will be covering some business and partnership updates. Following that, we'll have an update from Jeff on our market positioning, and then Connor will dive into some product updates for you. This webinar is for you, so please feel free to ask questions throughout the session so you can get best value from the time. You can use the Q&A panel to do that, and Matt and I will be monitoring that throughout the webinar to either answer those questions live or through the chat. So before I step into some of our partnership goals and focus areas, I wanted to be really transparent with you and share some information about our business focus and goals for FY24. This year for Contentstack is all about Go Composable. Our overarching theme will be composable and the pursuit of possibility. We'll be seeking to educate the market on composable, what composable is, why Contentstack, and our partners are best fit for our customers on their composable journey. FY24 is also the year of the partner for us. And to be really clear with you all, that was not actually my idea, but something our business had already conceived before I joined the Contentstack tribe. But I'm absolutely delighted to support this theme. And I hope it's a clear indication to you of how much we value you and how much we want to work with all of you to achieve joint success this year. The other piece I wanted to share with you all and provide some transparency on is our FY24 focus and goals. We call them our scale goals. We're at a transitional stage where we aspire to be a $100 million business. And so these goals that we've placed are to support us through the next stage of our growth. To scale to a $100 million company, we need to create a killer revenue generating machine. So that's something we're very focused on right now. In particular, ensuring the activities we engage in will translate to meaningful pipeline results. We will do this while continuing to focus on delivering on our promise of care and upholding our core values. We want an amazing culture of collaboration, alignment, and growth, not just internally, but with you, our partners, and with our customers. We aspire to be revered by the industry and feared by our competition. We will continue to deliver on our promise of care and live up to our core values. And then when it comes to ARR, we must ensure that our growth outpaces operating expenses. And to do this, we need to be a metrics-driven organization that is really focused on outcomes. That means we need to execute flawlessly on our plays and build out our customer relationships like we've never done before. When it comes to lead, we want to build strong brand awareness and category leadership. But to be truly successful here, we need strong collaboration with the other composable category leaders and the industry-leading solution partners. And finally, we want to elevate customer heroes and develop strong customer advocates. We will also be gaining insight from our customer advisory board so we can ensure we're growing responsibly and with the right focus on our customers and their needs, and ultimately making our customers into composable heroes. I hope this helps give you a better sense of what we're thinking about as a business and where we want to focus this year. But how does this all translate into our partnership focus? Well, as many of you will know, we've been going through an evolution of our program these past months. And what that's really been about is adjusting our program to suit where we are right now as a business. In terms of our partnership vision, we want to build a scalable program that fosters meaningful relationships with industry-leading partners. Quick hint here, that's why you all are on the call today. Those relationships should develop bi-directional pipeline that helps us all to win more, gain value from leveraging each other's brand equity, and allow us to maintain our industry-leading position. We want to continue to develop joint solutions with all of you to help address the needs of the customers we all support. And that all translates down to 5 areas that we're really going to focus on in FY24. As you can see, number 1 for us is repeatability. What we've done is we've taken steps to reduce the number of partners we're working with so we can really develop deeper relationships with you and ensure those relationships drive mutual benefit and consistent positive results for both organizations. Our pipeline goal is 25% of our new pipeline will come from you, our partners. This is something that all of my team will care about in FY24. In return, we want to reciprocate that by passing leads to you, our focus partners, in exchange for the leads you provide to us. We also know that all the research and data says that you can increase your win rate on a deal by around 50% when you collaborate with your partners, and you can also increase deal velocity too. So we are encouraging all of our sales team to take this on board and really work more closely with all of you. We're going to be monitoring this co-sell closely so we can track what works and understand how collaboration with all of you is impacting our sales cycles. Another focus point for us this year is delivery success, because we all need happy, successful customers, right? So we want to make sure that we're recommending the right certified partners to get customers up and running in the right way and to help them to keep growing. And to this end, we're going to be doing lots of work right now on how our partner enablement and certifications can really be improved to help that experience and ensure that we give you the latest, most relevant content. So please stay tuned for more updates on that in the coming months. And lastly, we want to activate our marketplaces. We want to use the Contentstack marketplace as a key place we can showcase the pre-composed solutions we're developing with all of you to our customers and our prospects. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in our product session. But do take note that if you're working on an accelerator or a joint solution, we want to hear about it so we can work with you to promote that solution. We're also soon going to be activating our cloud partnerships and leveraging their marketplaces. We'll shortly go live in both the AWS and Azure marketplace, and we'll be looking to collaborate with all of you on joint solutions we can position and transact through these channels. So let's take a look at how all of this aligns to our business scale goals. I want you all to understand that we're really keeping partnerships at the forefront of everything we're thinking about, so that you can see how partnerships are supporting our scale goals in FY24. So in terms of scale, as I mentioned already, we're targeting 25% of our pipeline being generated by you, our partners, and we're also hoping that 35% of our new bookings will be influenced by collaboration with you. And as I mentioned before, we see this as a bi-directional goal so that you will also see lead flow in your direction. When it comes to care, we want to collaborate more closely with all of you, our focus partners. We see you as part of our tribe, our community, and a key player in the success of our customers, in the success of our business, and we very much hope you feel the same way too. When it comes to our ARR focus, we are confident that with stronger collaboration with you throughout our sales cycles, we can increase deal velocity and win rates. We also know that where you're collaborating with our customers, you can be a key supporter in identifying upsell and cross-sell opportunities for us. But again, this is a two-way process. We will be closely tracking the needs of our customers and passing leads back to you where we identify a requirement from a customer that aligns either with your technology or your services focus. We want to ensure we're also driving benefit back to your business. So we'll be tracking all of this reciprocation very closely. When it comes to lead, we want to demonstrate our industry leadership, but to do this, we need to work with you. Through our joint solutions that we take to market to address the evolving needs of our customers, or through joint thought leadership that we create together to elevate our position in the market and to increase awareness of the value of composable. And lastly, we want to work in collaboration with you to elevate our customers into composable heroes. Our new academy will support you in gaining the necessary enablement you need to deliver successful projects for our joint customers. And as we develop these composable heroes, we want to document those joint successes to create great new case studies that we can use to drive more of that repeatability. So these are our goals and our focus, and I hope that helps you to see where we are going this year and why this should be relevant to you. We want to do a much better job of collaborating with you this year. To that end, I want to share with you our current partner team organization, and hopefully you can see lots of familiar faces here, but we're also delighted that the team has been growing considerably and we have lots of new team members on board and a couple more roles still to fill. I hope you're already aware of who your primary contact is, but if you're not sure, please message partners@contentstack.com and we'll make sure to get you connected. One last thing that I wanted to touch on is the ways we want to collaborate better with you this year. And so we'll be focusing on that in a few different ways. Firstly is joint content. We need your help to ensure we have up-to-date joint content with you, so we can use these with our internal teams, our customers, and our prospects. Hopefully, you've already been asked to complete your company profile, but if not, please do ask your PRM to help you do that. We'll be using that information to update our internal facing partner briefs, our intranet site, as well as using that data for our partner website, which is soon going to be updated, and as a start point for the one-pagers and joint positioning documents that we will be updating this quarter. Please give this your attention so we can promote you as a partner most effectively to our business and to our customers. Joint solutions is our second focus, and I've touched on this a couple of times, but we want to develop more of these joint solutions with all of you. And in talking to many of you, you're thinking the same thing too, which is really great. If you're working on a joint solution or you want to do something with us, then please keep us informed so we can help you with that. We'd like to work more closely with you on taking these to market to drive business results for us both. And we also want to ensure we add all of those solutions to our marketplace so we can promote them to our customers and prospects. And finally, we want to track and measure what we're doing so we can really know what's working. We do need your help to do that. So please, if you're working with our teams on a deal or a client, make sure your partner manager is aware so we can track that and understand better how you are supporting our business. So these are the key updates I wanted to share with you today, and I hope that gives you a better sense of our business goals and also where we're focusing as a partnership team. If there are other areas you'd like me to dive into in future sessions, please let me know. We're always open to new suggestions or things that you think would be relevant. But with that, what I'm going to do is hand over to Jeff, who's going to talk a little bit now about our market positioning.
All right, thank you, Prasitha. Hello, everybody. Just a quick introduction. Again, I'm Jeff Bacher. I head up the product and solutions marketing for our team over here at Contentstack. Much of what Prasitha just referred to, the one-pagers, the solutions content, a lot of that will be done with you all and with members of my team. So really excited to be on this, this webinar right now and start the beginning of the relationship with you all. As Prasitha mentioned, like, this is the year of the partner. It's also the year of composable. I thought I could just provide a little bit more context about the market, why we feel like this is so critical a year for us to really come together. The topic composable, it's really the short form for composable DXP or digital experience platform. And many of you know from what you do and what we all do together that there is a significant amount of change that's underway with the technologies that comprise a DXP and the manner in which our customers are now looking to procure and assemble those capabilities. We work very closely, as you probably do as well, with members of the analyst community, in particular with Forrester, Joe Sickman, and a paper and a belief that we espouse and believe as well, that these DXPs of the future, or the composable DXP that we are all now angling towards, is not something that you would buy in wholesale from a vendor. It's instead something that you build on your own. And that's very different from the world that we've come from, where you would have bought a suite of software from a vendor that would attempt to do everything. The everything that people are all now trying to do is beyond the scope of any one vendor, which is causing legacy technologies to kind of break at the seams, and it's requiring a rethink architecturally, but also really around the technologies that would allow us to arrive at a modern platform, modern DXP, composable DXP, that allows our customers to create the experiences that they're trying to create at the point in time and at the right channel. So there's a significant shift in the speed with which our customers are trying to do things and the places with which they are trying to place these digital experiences. But this big shift of it being a buying and building proposition is very different. And so what you're seeing here, and why we believe this is such a critical year, we believe, the analysts believe, the community in general kind of believes that the future is composable. The future is composable DXP solutions. Today, up until now, it's been largely something that customers have had to roll up their sleeves, and maybe roll up their sleeves more than they would like to. So in order for us collectively to really kind of cross this chasm, to be able to produce DXP solutions that can really hit a broad base of customers, we need to make the whole proposition of quote unquote going composable easier. That means making technologies like ours and like all of what you provide and all of the solutions integration capabilities that you provide more readily available and more set up and packaged in a way in which customers can very easily then arrive at the solution that they're trying to arrive at. There are different destinations, right, for different customers and different verticals. So a lot of what you'll see us now building out are the unique use cases that are addressing different needs with different verticals. So a lot of opportunity for all of us to partner together on how we want to go to market for different industry verticals. What are the underlying use cases that those customers are looking to produce? And then from there, what different technologies do we bring together? Integrations, things from the partner community, the ecosystem, things that we bring together. But this is the year that we really assemble the platform, the ecosystem, and all the parts so that we can then make the broader, adoption of this significantly easier, essentially around the world. So you'll see, obviously, a lot of content coming out around composable and helping people understand what it is, the motivations. We're dimensioning, providing dimensions technically, we're providing dimensions economically, everything so people feel that their first step and then their subsequent steps down this journey of going composable keeps them on safe ground every step of the way. So if you go to the next slide, it's a little bit of a view into the how do we do this. So we believe in the direction of the market and the kind of criticality of this year in particular for pulling together all that our customers are looking to tap into. It's ultimately now kind of three things on the left, but I really wanted to also make sure that we're now becoming more familiar with what we're showing visually on the right. This journey to composable, clearly there's a rethink around architecture and technology, and our customers are now quickly trying to assemble all of what those elements need to be for them. It, in many cases, starts with a headless CMS, so we're in I think an interesting and good position to start that conversation and down that kind of architectural journey. But you'll see that in and of itself is not complete. And a lot of what makes the composable DXP complete is stuff that we, Contentstack, do. But this diagram we refer to as our spine diagram. Obviously, in the center are competencies that we bring to the table around our platform. But these shoulders, and that which makes them complete the whole composable DXP, are delivered through all of your capabilities, all of the partner technology. So we do not claim when we say we offer a composable DXP that we do it all. We do some things really well, and we lean heavily on an open ecosystem and partners like you all that bring together the different technologies to address different use cases and address different vertical needs. So a huge quotient or component around industry-leading technologies, best of breed technologies. There obviously, as part of that kind of hand-holding experience, is providing the expertise and care, because as many of our prospects are doing, this is a kind of uncharted direction for them as they kind of stand up of this new architecture. So there's not only having the requisite technologies, but also having the technical expertise and the care, like our Care Without Compromise program, which includes not only our abilities, but also your abilities collectively, so we can make sure that there's a seamless experience when things go right, and also when things potentially could go sideways. I touched briefly on the economics too, but that is, in our view, the kind of the wrapper around this, providing the technology, providing the expertise and care so people have the confidence and the peace of mind, and then having the numbers to back all of this up, because none of this is necessarily free. We want to make sure people understand with their investments in headless technologies and their investment in composable DXP, what they should be expecting from a return on investment. But I for sure want to underscore, obviously, not only the importance of composable DXP and kind of the signature, but the criticality of the ecosystem and the roles that you all play to make this complete. So, again, kind of underscore this, what we put around the box or the perimeter of this is not something that we envision doing on our own. So this is always about bringing kind of what we can do with what you all can do collectively to address what our customers are looking to do with their composable pursuits. So there will be a lot, if you imagine, like if you can double click on any, not now, but like on any of these hexagons, a lot more content for who do we work with for commerce, who do we work with for personalization, what are the value propositions with those different partners that you identify, what integrations exist. So this is not just to be a kind of thin veneer, rather it's really kind of the toehold into something that goes very deep into what is real for customers to procure and deploy largely from a solutions perspective, which again involves a lot of what you all will be doing in combination with ourselves. One other slide, just to maybe kind of pull back from that with what else is kind of out there from a landscape perspective, because there are a lot of terms. DXP, composable DXP, there's obviously, if you just kind of roll the clock back, you can see that it's now becoming increasingly more top of mind and more of a conversation, but there have been other categories that preceded. So we use this quadrant diagram, if you will, to kind of carve out the space that we collectively are now really trying to address. I probably don't need to speak of the legacy CMS. That's kind of largely the starting point that drove the industry to kind of go one of two different directions. Either fix the CMS, which was done through a headless CMS. We're one of the pioneers. That's a show already in progress. So many have kind of moved from legacy CMS to headless CMS. Others have kind of saw the limitations of a legacy CMS and have moved to a full DXP suite, like something from Adobe or Sitecore. In either of those two camps that many of our prospects are now in, either I have a legacy DXP and they feel like it's not going to get me to where I need to go into the future, or I have a headless CMS, but that's not complete in and of itself. I need to figure out a bunch of other things to add to the headless CMS to make it do something, essentially be a DXP. So we're filling this kind of unmet need currently in the market of people who've kind of got to the end of the line with their current technologies and are doing a deep rethink about a new architecture, so maybe moving away from their legacy suite. And while there's been a lot of fanfare and attention around headless CMS, many are quickly realizing that that's just a component to what you ultimately need to add to make something complete. So we're now, really filling in both, breathing new life into the world of DXPs, and also taking the headless CMS component, which is kind of foundational and a critical starting point to going composable. But through what we're developing and through what you collectively bring together from the partner community, allows us now to move up from that headless CMS into this up into the right quadrant, where now customers are able to develop the stack that they want, to do it their way, to address the use cases and the industry verticals that they need to reach. So we're super excited. about the space that we're carving out. We spent a lot of time with the analyst community to test people's appetites for discussion around something different than headless CMS or legacy DXP. You're probably seeing a lot more, not only amongst us here, but others in the broader industry talking about composable DXP. So, I think we're feeling like we're in a good position for the space that we've carved out for the unmet needs that we're now seeing kind of coalesce. And like you can see in that third bullet, open ecosystem, so much of what makes this complete and makes this possible is the bringing together of all of you with what we're able to do and a sharing of a common vision that I think together we can do great things. So that's really all I have to share. I mean, I think this is the market and the table is kind of set for us to really do some great things for our collective customers and to make some big waves in the market. So as I mentioned in the outset, our team, Product and Solutions Marketing, will be producing a lot of this content to make this real. So we and people on my team will be working a lot with all of you. And in the meantime, feel free to reach out any which way for us to start getting the ball rolling.
Thank you so much, Jeff. Very much appreciate that update. If anyone has any questions for Jeff, please do pop them in the chat and we'll be happy to answer those. Otherwise, I'm going to hand over to Connor for the product update. And again, you can ask any questions you'd like of Connor through the chat window as well.
Yeah, hello, everybody. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Prasitha. Thank you, everyone who joined. Prasitha offered us on the product team to be able to come onto these, talk a little bit more about the product. We jumped at the opportunity. There's been a lot happening with the product, as you saw with what Jeff was talking about. And one thing that is really exciting from a partner perspective is the majority of the work we've been doing in the last year and a half is really to facilitate the work of our partners and a closer connection with them. So, at the bottom, you see the headless CMS. This is something that we innovated years and years ago. It's still the foundation of what we offer. But if you move up to those middle two, we have the Automation Hub, which we announced last May, and we have our Marketplace, which we also announced last May. And what these are really focused on is the customer need to go composable. So it really aligns with both Year of the Partner and going composable, because in the early days, we partnered with all of you. We're going to continue to. We can't do what we do without you. But, it was kind of like they'd buy your APIs, they'd buy our APIs. They would figure out some way to make them work together that neither of us were really aware of. And technically we were partnering, right? But there wasn't a great opportunity to bring the products together like there is now that these two products exist. So the first being the Marketplace. In one way, this is what you're used to. There's a browsable marketplace of one-click integrations, but it's also a huge extensibility framework. So for our SI partners on the call, I'm going to talk a little bit about how to leverage that when delivering a complete solution for your clients as well. We also have the Automation Hub, which is our low-code integration and automation framework. This really, one thing we kind of lost when we came off of Monolith was that everything just worked together out of the box. Now, there was a lot of downsides to that because you had to work exactly like it was designed, and those workflows were designed for one channel and they were designed 20 years ago. So the nice thing about Automation Hub is it does close that gap where when you are interacting with different partners, different vendors, it can still feel like a complete experience. And then you also might have seen that we announced Contentstack Launch, which is a front-end hosting solution a few months ago. So I'm going to dive deep into each of these. In future sessions, I think we will kind of narrow it to one product area, one set of best practices that you can apply to your practice. But we're just going to do a little survey because our product and engineering team has been very busy. There's a lot coming out. I want to make sure everyone is aware not only of opportunities if you're a technical partner to appear in our product and make our product strong together, but also if you're an implementation partner, how do you use these tools in conjunction with us and other partners to really deliver something that is going to have really great outcomes for your clients? So another way that we think about this, and this will help position sort of our internal thinking, since we're partners, we're sharing some of the ways that we think about supporting the customer. We are all somewhere involved in this content development lifecycle. That starts right at the beginning in your project management software. What is our content strategy? through actually creating it. And then in our case, with the headless CMS, it was kind of in the middle there. It was managing the content and delivering the content. This is where you set up workflows. This is where you pull APIs to power an iPhone app. And then it would go to our hosting partners, personalization partners, analytics. So we kind of had this slice, and there was a little bit of a discontinuity between each of them. So this is what really got us to think about, how do we make this feel more cohesive and make it easier to build? And so that's where we layered on those two products, Automation Hub and Marketplace. And while these don't replace the tools that you're doing earlier or later in the cycle, it makes it much easier to integrate into those phases as well. So for example, we have a connection into Jira so that you can close a Jira ticket when you do something in the CMS, right? So we aren't replacing that, but we're helping facilitate it, because if you're having to constantly log into 10 different platforms all the time, that really does slow you down, and it's not an ideal experience. We also then added our Contentstack launch product. So we joined some of our amazing hosting partners, offering a solution that is not exactly like what they do. There's plenty of opportunity for them to continue to work within our ecosystem. But I'll explain why we added that as well to help facilitate some people that want to get going really quickly, maybe are just dipping their toes into composable. So we'll start with Contentstack launch. So what Contentstack launch is front-end hosting. It's completely agnostic to what framework you want to use. It's totally unopinionated. So you could have the same stack, have a project that's hosted on Launch. You could have it hosted on Netlify. You can have it hosted on a home-rolled solution. So what Contentstack launch is a way to basically start in the CMS, pick a stack that you're going to build a project out of, and with a couple clicks, set up a front-end environment for that stack, as well as connect to a GitHub repository, pull the code in, and hit deploy. So it's very well integrated with Contentstack. It's obviously not as feature rich as some of our partners. So there's going to be a lot of times when what we offer with launch is not going to meet the customer needs. And that's when we would bring in one of our partners. But it is a great way for people that want to get a quick microsite up, maybe get their development environments going on day one, and basically take some of the complexity out of getting started. So we kind of look at it as, in the past, we were selling cars on the lot without tires, right? Because we sell cars, we don't sell tires, but that doesn't help our customer drive it off the lot. So we view launch as kind of the equivalent of that. And then as you get more sophisticated, you're going to want to add snow tires, racing tires, knobby tires. And that's where you have these really specialized platforms that can meet those needs if you need things, like incremental regeneration and cloud functions and all these things that you grow into as you become more sophisticated in your digital stack. So the benefits of this, really quick to build from code. So we have a lot of starters. This is all about how quickly can we get customers to value. So you can connect to a code base, pull that in with one click, deploy to production. We'll set up some resources for you. We'll pull all your environment variables in. And that's part of what helps with the integration, because we can read things like a Next repo or a Gatsby repo. We can pull in your API keys. So it's just how quickly can you get to something that you can start showing internally and seeing a lot of value with. So with all of these products, one thing I do want to note is we want you to be using them for accelerators, for your internal projects. Most of these are included in Contentstack in some limited form. But certainly if you want to play around with it more, please reach out to the partner team. We can enable this for you and get you experimenting with it. It's also another tool in your quiver if you're an implementation partner. We think more choice for customers is better. So we're happy to be jumping into this space with a front-end hosting solution. Next up, the marketplace. So I spoke about this briefly. This is really two different value propositions. So one is it's a marketplace that you can browse. Our customers can learn about technologies like our technology partners. And with one click, install an app that is up to date with all of your platform's newest APIs, capabilities, and bring your functionality directly into the experience of them editing in Contentstack. So that might be browsing assets in a DAM, it might be browsing a content catalog. We have a bunch of examples of this. And we really want every technology partner to have a really great app in our marketplace, because that's not only a great discovery mechanism, but it's also, again, a way for them to get the most value out of our joint platforms. And if you are an SI partner, this also includes a very robust extensibility framework. So, of course, you get a lot out of the box with vanilla Contentstack, but as a client grows into their implementation, there's always going to be customizations that they want to add. This might be between different business units. You might have an e-commerce business unit and more content-focused business unit. They're not going to need exactly the same apps, and they might work a little differently. So this is the opportunity for you as an implementation partner to add your special sauce to vanilla Contentstack. Because if you think, hey, why would I go with this SI versus this SI? Maybe this one has a bunch of great apps that they've written internally to support your use case. They understand how to turn what Contentstack offers out of the box into a very tailored tool to meet their needs. So just because you're building apps with our extensibility framework does not mean that they're all going into the marketplace. We do have private marketplaces so companies can develop them themselves, but we really want to invest in this ecosystem. We're super excited. We just had someone join on the product team that's going to lead this initiative. You're going to see him a lot as we continue to build out this as a tool just to work with our partners and our implementers. We do have additional extensibility coming to the marketplace. So we already have about 5 different ways that you can bring custom functionality into our CMS. These are things like putting an app in the right rail as a person is editing content. You can have apps that have to do with assets. You can put apps on our dashboard. You can have custom fields that connect directly into one of our partners' technology. In addition to this, we're adding the ability to customize our content editing experience itself. So this can be very powerful if you want to go above and beyond what we have as a standard interface. We're also, I'm super excited about this one, adding a full page app extension. So what this means is you can create an app that sits right at the same level as our CMS, Automation Hub, Marketplace, and it will take over the entire experience in the CMS. It still has all the benefits of authentication and security and access to our APIs, but think about all the different things that you can build on top of Contentstack and deliver to your customers, or if you're a tech partner, a really rich experience for them to work with what you are offering directly from the CMS. And the last is what we're calling a field modifier extension. This allows you to add functionality at a field by field level. So if you want to add some, custom validation, another great example is something I'm about to talk about, which is our ChatGPT integration. We're delivering that as an application using the field modifier extension. So as you can see, there's just more and more opportunity to build on top of Contentstack, either as a application that features your technologies or as an implementation partner that wants to deliver something above and beyond what you get right out of the box. An example of some of the apps that we're building internally, we built a release preview app, or it's coming out soon. What this does is give you a calendar view of all the releases that you have scheduled. So in Contentstack, at least, you bundle up a bunch of different changes. So I'm going to change something on the homepage. I need to update these 10 products. I want to add a banner. You want those all to go live at the same time because you have some promotion running at midnight on Tuesday. So you can bundle those up into a release. But a limitation that we had before is you can't really see all of those changes together exactly as it will look at 12:01 on Tuesday night. So with this release preview app, you can actually preview multiple releases in the future. So say that you have a release every Friday, you can look a month into the future. It will account for all the changes that have not gone out yet and let you see your website exactly as it will be at that point in the future. So really powerful example of the type of functionality that you can add with the marketplace and the app framework. Okay, moving on to Automation Hub. So this is a very exciting one. The Automation Hub, if you don't know, it GA'd in January. We announced it last year. And what Automation Hub is a no or low code business logic and automation tool that allows you to basically take triggers, whether they're in our system or in your technology. And when those triggers happen, have any number of steps execute, not only within Contentstack, but with all of our partner technologies as well. So these automations can trigger either from an action on your end. If you're a technology partner, you can ping an HTTP endpoint and then have a bunch of stuff happen over in Contentstack, or it can originate in Contentstack and have a bunch of actions taken in the background with your technology. So this replaces a lot of what you used to have to do with integration code. And this was kind of the dirty little secret of going composable, is that you talk to all the individual vendors. We all have amazing pitches and we all have great technology. And then you have all of these things in a box with no connection. And so this really closes the gap, not only on how quickly can customers get to value, but also on some of the things that are lost when you're coming off of a monolithic system. So again, this is included in very limited capacity in every single account. We're happy to enable it for you to play around with it. There's a big opportunity for those tech partners that are on the call, because we do have built-in connectors, and these are a little different than apps. So apps are designed to be interacted with by users. So I can navigate over to an Algolia app or something like that. Automation Hub is a connector to your functionality that happens in the background via API. If you do have a connector in our Automation Hub, it's not only great advertising for you, because if someone's looking for a particular solution, they know that we have a connector for it, but it also allows them to get up and running with your technology and our technology on day one, which is a huge, huge value add. So an example of some of the things that we've been working on here, on the right, you can kind of see what an automation looks like. So there's some kind of trigger. A great example would be, hey, every time I publish a new piece of content, every time I add a new asset, every time a workflow state changes, I want all of these things to happen. And I'll have some use cases on the next slide to explain this. But what we've also added is we have conditional paths. So in the past, you just had to kind of follow one execution path. We now have conditional paths. So this can react to what we're getting back from your side, and the user can take different actions based on that response. So maybe you want to see, is this particular product that's in Contentstack already in my search index? If it comes back no, send it to the search index. If it comes back yes, just keep executing. So that was added in the last month. We're also adding what we're calling repeat paths. For you technical folks, that's basically just a loop. So if I want to query my e-commerce platform and say, show me all the products added in the last week, iterate through them, update things in Contentstack, email the marketing team that they're done, move the workflow to ready to review, that can all happen seamlessly in the background. So really, really powerful, both for tech partners that want to have connections and for our SIs that can have this visual way of representing the business logic that every company needs to build. And the benefits, I kind of covered a lot of these, but just the ability to have all of these different platforms execute in tandem together. So it feels like we were built from the beginning to work together. And so we're not ceding any ground to a big monolithic piece of software, because we can work just as well together using this tool set. So I just wanted to throw out some use cases, because it really is such a horizontal and a broad product. It's sometimes difficult to map it to solutions. And we're learning more and more of these as our customers are getting hands-on with it. And so they're really doing a lot of customer-led innovation around this and thinking of some fantastic use cases. But some examples would be streamlining workflows. So, we have a very powerful workflow engine, but it only is within Contentstack. So you might want something to happen when in Contentstack, you change a workflow. You might want to integrate with some workflow that's happening on your end. So it's really easy to combine those and streamline them. A lot of the dev automation that you have to do to implement your CI/CD pipeline can be automated with this as well. So when you publish, you can ping to invalidate cache, you can rebuild your search engine, you can redeploy your front end. Really good for consistency in highly regulated industries, especially, so that you think about all the steps that you need to do if you're going to update your website. If you're a healthcare provider, right, you need all kinds of language on your footer. You need to back up a snapshot of that website, because you might get sued if someone says, hey, there was no disclaimer on the bottom when I visited 3 months ago. you can have things like that happen in the background to really help with regulated industries when you need to make sure that no steps are missed. Really great for communication. So if you want to notify teams via email or Slack or somewhere else as certain things are happening and content is moving through, it's great for that. Just really easy to compose. Like that's really one of the most important things that it does. So whether it's e-commerce or DAM or anything else, making sure that they stay in sync, that's how customers are going to stay with our mutual pieces of technology. If one kind of falls behind, then we are at risk of losing that partnership. And content orchestration too, I mentioned like tickets in your support system, things happening in other platforms. This is actually for implementation partners as well. A really good way to help migrate somebody off of a monolith or an old piece of technology, because oftentimes you can't just sunset what you were using before. You can use Automation Hub to keep the two in sync. So maybe this is kind of the record of truth for a little bit, and then you're going to move it over here. You can use Automation Hub to make sure that changes to both stay in sync until you're ready to sunset another piece of technology. And then last one, this is a fun one. I'm really excited to bring this to our customers, and I hope you're excited to bring it to your clients as well. We did do a ChatGPT integration. So probably one of the least surprising things I could have said, given how many of you are exploring this right now, but I think our implementation is very cool. So what we are adding, and this is being delivered via an application. So it is, it's optional. We're not, suddenly reading all your data and building models based on it. But what it does is brings ChatGPT functionality directly into the content editing experience. So we had talked about how you can, with our app framework, add additional tools to fields. So in this case, along with every text field is a little magic wand. You can open that up and you have access to ChatGPT with one click. So the way we've implemented it, you can do things like, hey, write a blog post, go to a different field and say, I want to summarize this in one paragraph, and it will read through and do that for you. Or I want you to suggest 10 titles based on the content of this blog post. Or I want you to extract SEO keywords that are really relevant based on this blog post. And a lot of this type of activity is relatively low value. Like AI is actually really good at it. And so it can save those content editors a lot of time. You can also directly just put in a prompt for anything you want if you want to get adventurous, as well as automatically translate content based on the language that you're looking at the time. So if you want to go over to the French version of a product and your French translator is not available, you can say, translate this title into French, and it will do that for you. So with this initial implementation is really done in such a way that you have an opportunity to review the content that is being created. There's still room for error. There's still hallucinations with this software. So this gives the content editors a chance to review it, understand where it's strong, where it maybe isn't so strong, but not get them into trouble because something is being done in the background and published without them knowing it. So a couple notes about this. We're really, taking a privacy first approach. So while data is sent to OpenAI, and in this case, we're using Azure's implementation of it, it is not used for training. It is not retained. So we're using the minimally invasive set of parameters that you can to get access to this. A couple guidelines as you're talking about this with your clients. One, as of right now, there's still the opportunity to keep the human in the loop. We are looking at having Automation Hub connectors in the future, but the best use case right now is enhancing what a human's doing anyway. Just being really transparent on when and where it's being used. And just remember, it still gets things wrong. So don't trust it. Trust but verify, maybe. And then from my perspective, just a couple different ways that we're going to work together really well this year. First off, for our SI partners, what I've seen that are really successful on Contentstack, and as a result, on behalf of their clients, engage with my team. So we have a fantastic product team. We're very excited about talking about the work that we're doing. So let's find opportunities. If you have some new functionality that you want to show off, or you have a question about, hey, we have a client that wants to know the best way to leverage this, please engage with us. We're very, very happy to get involved. I would say that successful implementers also use multiple of our products. And so our headless CMS is still the engine, the foundation of what we do. But these other products were really designed with customer need in mind, and they all are very well integrated with each other. That's one of our big mandates on the product side, is that when we release new product, it's aware of what all the other products are doing, and they create this, this synergistic outcome where you make all the products better as a result. So every time you add on some apps, some automations, maybe use Launch for some projects, you can move really quickly and get some really amazing stuff done. Number 3, if you're an implementation partner, you customize Contentstack to meet your clients where they are. So we've got a fantastic roadmap, fantastic product. It is designed to work for everybody. As a result, if you have a client with a very specific need, a very specific use case, this is the way that you're going to be able to deliver that for them. So think about ways to customize, think about ways to make the editor experience better. Think about which of our awesome technology partners that have apps in our app store can augment the outcomes for your clients. And then lastly, just stay up to date with what we're doing. We are coming out with an academy that's going to have trainings on all of this. Follow me on LinkedIn. I will announce everything that we're doing. You'll know when new stuff is coming down the pipe. And then we also will continue to have these conversations. And these will typically be more deep dives. We'll have one specific area to make sure that you know everything that you need to do to be successful. And then lastly, if you're a tech partner on the call, thank you for still hanging on this long webinar. But what I would suggest that you do is, number 1, have an app in our app store. So that's not only puts you on our website as a partner, it puts you inside our product in the marketplace, and it puts you one click away from our customers using your technology. You know that if someone's going to say, hey, we're going to take a week and we're going to evaluate 5 technologies in a particular area, if there's an app in that store, they can sign up for a trial from you, get an API key, drop it into our app, and be using it on day 1. There's a much better chance that they're going to select you to solve that need. So be in our app store, be in our marketplace, be up to date with our functionality, keep your functionality up to date with the latest APIs. That takes the burden off of customers to have to constantly be keeping up with your changes. We can deliver them via an app and everybody's happy. So make sure we're using the latest APIs on both sides. Make sure your information is correct. Your platforms are evolving like ours are. So make sure that you're selling yourself the best you can. Make sure all those internal pieces of content that Prasitha mentioned are up to date. And always engage with our partner team, engage with our product team. We're very happy to help. We're all better together. And as of the last 12 months, we have even more tools to do that really well on behalf of our joint customers and your clients. So really excited about the year ahead, really excited to kick off this product section and do a lot more of this in the future. So thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Connor. Really appreciate you and Jeff joining us today. Partners, if you're still on the call, thank you very much for joining us. I really do hope this was a useful session. We would love your feedback if there are topics you'd like us to dive into in the future. But otherwise, we will catch up with you for next quarter's update. Thank you for your time.